comprehensive approach to deal with what we have done. Production function, cost function, and the market for perfect competition. We're going to combine all these together with production, cost, and perfect competitive market. So first, let us look at the chart here. Okay. Now we are going to deal with production. Okay. So if it is production, what should be here? Zhang Cewei, if it is production, what should be here? What should be here? Production. So this is origin, right? 0. What about here and here? Production. Excuse me? What kind? Excuse me? So, Gao Jiayan, what should be here? Production. Are you sure? Quantity. Is that right? Quantity should be here. Right? So what should be here? Price? We are not talking about supply and demand. Hong Kanxuan. So you've got to read a book and work on the homework. The midterm is coming soon. Hong Kanxuan. What should be here? Excuse me? What's W? What should be here? Who are you? Okay. Okay, you're gonna be in trouble if you haven't got a chance to read a book and do some exercise. You're really gonna be in trouble. You need it. What should be here? Okay, we are going to, we are discussing production, right? Q is output, so you need to have input, right? So that's factor of production. What's the one we usually use? Hong Kai-Xuan? What is the one we usually use? Only L, right? Okay? So we mentioned this, that, for the input, okay, to contribute to the production, it works in several stages, right? First of all, when you employ some input, it works a little bit, okay? And then the contribution is a little bit more. So what I'm referring to is marginal product. Okay, when you just get started, the marginal product moves a little bit, but then it increases at an accelerating speed, and then accelerates more, but then to a certain extent it slows down, right? So it looks like this. So this is what we call total product curve, right? And we say when the total product reaches its maximum, so at this point the slope of the tangent, okay, the slope at the tangent of the total product curve is called MP, marginal product, right? So dTP dQ, what you get is marginal product. Sorry. So the slope of the tangent to the total product curve is marginal product. Okay? So it moves slowly, slowly, and then more and more and more, and then it slows down again, right? Okay? So this is what you have. And from this diagram, we say here is L, right? And then here's AP and MP, right? So let us then here you have MP and here you have AP. So we say there are 3 stages of production, right? There are 3 stages of production. The first is when AP is 0 to the maximum of AP. Okay, this is the first stage of production. The second stage of production begins with the maximum of AP and ends when marginal product is equal to 0. And when marginal product is equal to 0, here total product is at its maximum. The third stages of production is when marginal product is negative. So we mentioned this, right? The feasible production, the best production stage is at the second stage. At this stage, because the average product is still increasing, okay? So because of that, you better not stop here, okay? And of course, when you look at the third stage, because the marginal product is negative, right? Here is negative. So because of that, you better not produce here. The reason is very simple, much simpler than this one, because you have to pay for labor, you have to pay for capital, but what you get, your cost is positive, but your return is negative. So the production is never at the third stage. Okay, so basically that's what we have for production. And now we move to cost, okay? So can anyone tell me what's the relationship between MP and MC? Suppose we only have one input, labor, okay? No other inputs, okay? Only labor. So what would be the relationship between MP and MC? Okay, YDY. What is the relationship between MP and MC? We discussed this last week, right? Wang Xiaohui, YDY, you wanna say something? Okay, so what's the relationship there?
MP 高的时候 MC 比较低，越低。
Okay? And so, MC is equal to
MP 分之一
W
MP
divided by MP, right? So MP goes up. So we have diminishing marginal product. If you have diminishing marginal product, you have increasing marginal cost, okay? So because of the chart here, it's sort of easy to figure out what is the shape of marginal cost and average cost. Because MP works like that, AP works like that, and MP and AP intersects at the maximum of AP, okay? MP marginal product and average product intersects at the maximum of AP. So if MP looks like this, AP looks like that, it's natural to see because MP goes up, MC goes down. MP goes down, MC goes up. So, but now you've got to be very careful because here, okay, is L, input, right? Input, quantity, MP, AP. But now we are talking about cost. So here is production. Okay, here is production, and here is the cost. So what would be the curve of marginal cost and average cost looks like? It looks like this. Okay, average cost and marginal cost. So if MP and AP intersects at the maximum of AP, here MC and AC intersects at the minimum of AC. Okay, so here is maximum of AP and here is minimum of AC. Okay, questions? And now we are trying to figure out what would be the total cost curve. Okay, how does it look like? What I'm talking about here is not in a book, but you got to practice it a little bit so that you know what's going on here. Okay, so I want to transpose these two axes. So here is L, right? and here is Q, okay? What I'm going to do is that I put Q here, okay, and I put L here. Okay, any questions? Okay, so you know there's a rotation of the axis, right? Rotated it. And basically the relationship is the same. It is only here I'm looking at L as independent variable, right? And here is dependent variable. So I have FL equals Q. And here what's the difference? It means FQ equals L. Okay? So how am I gonna draw this diagram here? Because here L, here Q, right? Now we have Q here, L here. So these two curves, okay, the new curves that I'm going to draw will be symmetric to each other across 45-degree line. Okay? So basically like this. Okay? So it looks like this. Okay? And here still we mark it as total product curve. Only that, right? Only that here it is L, okay? Here it is Q, but now Q is here. Basically it looks like that. Questions? Okay, I'm going to play a trick. So here is L, right? The amount of labor, okay? Suppose I time this by W. What does that mean? It means cost, right? Here is the amount of labor you use, okay? The amount of labor, but I time it by wage rate, okay? So then what does that mean? This means it's cost, right? It's cost. So because we have total product curve, and I say, if you look at production, you can see cost, and of course, if you see cost, you can see production. And so it is exactly like that, okay? And so we can transpose these two axes. So now the vertical one is the horizontal one, and the horizontal one is the vertical one, and it will be symmetric to the 45-degree line, and it's like this. So now this is no longer a total product curve, but a total cost, okay? So now it becomes a total cost curve. Okay, questions? But suppose we have production, we have short term and long term, right? The same thing here. I'm going to erase all this and do that again. Questions? Okay. Okay, so now we have, here is quantity production, and here is the cost. Originally, we say it is L, right? And then times by W, so it means it is cost, okay? So the cost curve would be like this. In the short run, okay? In the short run, you have fixed cost and variable cost. So here is TVC, total variable cost. And suppose this is, TFC, total fixed cost, right? So then it will be something like this. Okay? So this is short run production, so we have fixed cost, variable cost, and it will be something like that. Okay? And total variable cost plus fixed cost, this will be total cost. Okay? And the same thing, because as you remember, we talk about long run production. So you have every short run production, okay, to drop all these lines together. So this is short run 1, short run 2, short run 3, and here is long run, okay? Average cost curve, LRAC, and this is going to be SRAC, okay, 1 and 2. The same thing here, okay? at different stages of production, as the firm adjusts for the long run, you can work out something like this, okay, something like this, something like this, okay. So here, the first short run, okay, short run 1, but it is for the, it is for the total cost, okay. Short run 2 and short run 3. The same thing, it is called envelope, okay. It will trace the locuses of all these transitions, and then you can get to the long run total cost. Okay? Questions? And now we are going to discuss the decision of a firm. You know, when this firm is a perfect competitive in a perfect competitive market, how are we going to make decisions? Okay? So in this case, there are several decisions you have to make. Okay, first of all, you have pi. Okay, pi is equal to profit. Okay, total revenue minus total cost. Okay, and what is total revenue? Total revenue is equal to P times Q minus total cost. And we mentioned before, right? In a competitive market, there are so many buyers, so many sellers, and the product is of the same quality, we call homogeneous, so that everyone is a price taker. So you take price as given. Okay, so we assume it is long run production, so that's gonna make things a little bit easier. So here, okay, again, this is cost function. So here is the cost, and here is the production level, okay? And we have something like this. So this is total cost curve, okay? And now we have a price taker, right? So in this case, what's the total revenue? The total revenue is P times Q, and here is Q. So whatever price it is something like this, okay? So this is total revenue curve. And last week we talked about this. We have first order condition and second order condition, right? So for the function to have a maximum or minimum, first order condition has to be 0, right? And then second order condition has to be less than 0, okay? And so here, you have to have from here, okay, from here. So you have d pi dq, right, equals dtr dq minus dtc dq equals marginal revenue minus marginal cost must be equal to 0. So this is the first order condition. Questions? Okay, so this is from calculus. What about diagram? How can we tell at which point this firm, okay, at which point and which production level is going to maximize profit? Okay, so first, what is marginal cost? When you look at this chart, okay, this diagram, what is the marginal cost? Zheng Yilin. When you look at this, what is the marginal cost? When we look at total product curve, right? Total product curve, we say what is the how to look at the marginal product when you have total product curve? Is the slope, right? Is the slope. So here, the slope is exactly here, right? So here is the slope, and here is the total cost. So if you want to look at the slope, I mean the easiest thing. If you want to maximize, okay, you want to maximize profit, you look for the highest distance between the two, right? When this one minus this one is the highest, that's where you get the maximum profit, okay? So here and here, where you get the highest difference, it is here, right? And so you have a tangent, okay? So the slope of the tangent to total cost curve is marginal cost, okay? the slope of the tangent to total cost is marginal cost. Just like the slope to the tangent of total product curve is marginal product. And here you get 1 point, and here you get another one, okay? And here you get another one. So here it is 0.1, here is 0.2, okay? So 金正党, which one maximizes profit, 0.1 or 0.2? 0.2. Okay, up here, what is this curve? Excuse me? Here?
那是 GR。
Is my question to you.
看错了，不好意思。
So what is here?
Total cost,
And what is here?
total revenue.
Here?
Total cost.
Okay. Wake up a little bit, right?
看错了，看错了。
So here is total
Cost.
cost. Here it is total cost. Here is the revenue part, right? So here revenue is higher than the cost, right? So at this point you got profit. And what about here? What you get?
Loss.
You get loss. Okay? So then let me turn to another diagram that that I showed you last week. So it means what? It means when you have the first order condition, okay, when you have the first order condition, is it enough to make sure that the firm is maximized profit? No, it's not. Because you have 2 points here, right? It is only at this point that the firm, okay, maximizes profit. Here, it is the highest loss, okay? Here is actually the minimum of your profit, the highest of the loss. So remember we have a diagram like this, MC, right? And suppose the firm is a price taker, right? Okay, so you have here cost, production level, right? And we have the same thing, 0.1 and 0.2, okay? So you know that at 1 here, okay, maybe I need another pen, okay, I do have. So at 0.2, look at it, at 0.2, the marginal cost is here, okay? The marginal cost is here. So the shaded area with the black shaded area, here is the marginal, sorry. So we have integration of marginal cost dq is equal to what? Total cost. And what about revenue? Revenue is only here, right? Down here, this rectangle. So at this point you have loss. It is only at this point, okay, you may have some profit, okay? So as I said before, you have to check the second order condition. MR prime minus MC prime must be less than 0. What does that mean? That means the slope of the marginal curve must be less than the slope, the slope of the marginal revenue must be less than the slope of marginal cost curve. What does that mean? That means when the firm maximizes profit, the marginal revenue curve and the marginal cost curve must intersect from left to right, okay, from left to right, from below to upward, okay, this way. So this way, marginal cost curve, okay, the slope is positive, right? And what about here? The slope is 0, so it's here. If it is at this point, okay, marginal cost is negative. The slope of the marginal cost curve is negative, but the slope of marginal revenue is 0, so it violates this condition. Okay? Any questions? Okay. So now we are going to move forward to the decision of a competitive firm. How it's going to operate in the market. And as we say, okay, first of all, everyone in a competitive market is a price taker. Okay, so you cannot set a price on your own because you don't have any monopoly power. So you are a price taker. And secondly, the products are homogeneous. So the product has the same quality. And then the most important one is that a firm can freely enter or exit the market. Okay, a firm can freely enter or exit the market. Okay, so let us try this. Remember that this is the cost, so Q and 0 here. So we have, and let's assume it is a show run production. So we have here ATC, okay, average total cost. And here we have AVC, average variable cost. And then you have marginal cost, okay? So remember that marginal cost curve and ATC intersects at the minimum of ATC, and average marginal cost and average variable cost intersects at the minimum of AVC. And as you can tell, the distance between ATC and AVC shrinks. It becomes smaller and smaller. So why? Why these two curves get together, come close together when the production level goes up? Why? Okay, because AFC is equal to TFC divided by Q, right? So this one is fixed. As Q goes up, the whole thing goes down. Okay? Good. So now let us assume we have something like this. So if this is the price, okay, so let us say this is the price, P1, okay? And the production level is Q1. So, 高嘉燕, when the price is P1, why the production level is Q1? How does a firm to choose a production level? Exactly. MC is equal to P, right? So MC is equal to MR. Okay? Why? Because we are talking about, this is true only for competitive market. Because we say a competitive firm is a price taker, right? So the total revenue, okay, total revenue is equal to P times Q, right? So what is the marginal revenue? The marginal revenue is DTR dQ is equal to P. So because the marginal revenue for a competitive firm is price, and they are price takers, so MC is equal to P. That is the way competitive firm choose production level. So at this point, P is equal to MC, right? And the production level is down here. Okay, Gao Jiayan, can you tell us when the price is equal to P1, P1, and the production level is Q1, does this firm makes profit or has a loss? This firm makes a profit or has a loss? Okay? If you want to know whether it makes profit or has a loss, how are you going to look at it? Pi is equal to TR minus TC, right? Okay, so what is this? P times Q minus P times ATC. Oh, sorry. Right? Total revenue minus total cost. So when you get to this, and you have TR is equal to P times Q, and what's TC? Q times ATC, right? Okay, so from this diagram, and with this formula, can you tell us at this point, P1, okay, the firm makes profit or has a loss? So you can factor Q out, right? Q is here, here is P times ATC, right? So can you tell us P is greater than ATC or less than ATC? Greater. So it makes per unit profit here. Okay, it makes per unit profit here, right? So here is per unit profit. And here it is the total cost, and here is the total revenue, right? And so you have a profit. Okay, if you have a profit, what will people do? Sorry, Hong Kai-Shen. If this firm has a profit, what will people do? What would other companies do? It has a profit. Exactly. Enter the market. Okay, you're going to enter the market. If a firm enters the market, what happens to supply? 张志伟 What becomes more? Supply. Exactly. Supply goes up. What happens to price? Price will go down. So let us use this example. It is kind of interesting. Taiwanese love coffee, right? How many of you drink coffee at least a cup a day? One? And the others? Yun Xiang, do you drink coffee? No, you don't. Anyway, so I mean, coffee is in Taiwan, long time ago, right? But probably 20 years ago, there is a new company coming in, Starbucks. Okay, Starbucks. So when Starbucks comes in, what happened? Drinking coffee is like a fashion, right? And what about the price of Starbucks? Lin Yuxiang, what about the price of the coffee of Starbucks? Expensive or cheap? How much is it? That is a black coffee. No idea. Excuse me? $60. What about McDonald's? 40. If it is 7-Eleven, I think it's like 35, right? So anyway, so we can see Starbucks makes drinking coffee like a fashion, right? It makes a lot of money, but it entices. Okay, this is an incentive to get people joining the market. And other companies join the market, so you can see what happened. Supply goes up, price goes down. Okay, so let us say here is the new market. Okay, so it is P2 and it is Q2. Okay, so what happened at this point? Ye Yifang, at this point, does the firm make profit or has a loss? Here, at this point, and the production level is Q2. So at this point, price P2 is equal to ATC, right? And so if you look at the formula here, price is equal to ATC, what happened? There's no profit at all. And what is the company joining in and becomes famous again? It is called 85 degree C, right? It used to be very popular, okay? And I think, is this company listed in the stock market? Yes or no? No idea. I mean, what is the emphasis of 85 degree C? Zheng Yilin. What is the slogan of 85 degree C? Hong Kai-Shen, you want to say? What is the slogan? You forgot it? How come? You didn't. What's the slogan? You know slogan? So slogan, what's the slogan? I think you know something. Just say it. Wang Jiuhui. What's the slogan of 85 degree C? No idea? 比花园，比花园。The slogan of 85 degrees C.
评价，
Excuse me?
评价，
No, 3 words. And it is synonym to 5 star. But you pronounce it in Taiwanese. Louder. What does that mean? You save money, right? Okay. In Taiwanese, it's 5 star, but you know, is the sound is similar to you save money, right? So it's cheaper. You enjoy almost the same kind of quality, right? And it emphasizes why 85 degrees C. You are in why 85 degrees C. Why 85 degrees C? Because this is the best temperature to make coffee. You get it? And so the quality is good and you save money, right? So Starbucks entices a lot of people, a lot of companies joining in. In Kaohsiung, there's another one called Crown. What is Crown? Hong Kai-Shen, what is Crown? In Kaohsiung? 2 words. Louder. Right, where is it now? It gone bankrupt, right? Because it cannot sustain the competition. So that's the story here. So you have Starbucks, and then you have 85 degrees C, right? Company joining in. Then what else? McDonald's, right? McDonald's, and then what else? 7-Eleven, and you have Fami, right? The Family Mart, okay? And even worse is that they have buy one get one free, right? 7-Eleven buy one get one free, and of course it's difficult, right? I only drink 1 cup of coffee. Why should I? I mean, of course, if buy one get one free, I would get one and another one. But you know, I cannot drink 2 coffees, right? 2 cups of coffee. So what are you gonna do? You can deposit, okay? You can drink it later. So what happened? The competition becomes much more vigorous, right? So what happened? 7-Eleven, McDonald's, Family Mart, all joining in. So at this point, what does that mean? You know, ATC is here, right? And the price is here. What happened? You have lost, okay? You have lost. And so the market continues. You know, I remember Highlight, I mean, it's kind of crazy. You can buy 10, get 10 free, okay? So what you gonna do? It pushes the price even downward, right? And so let us say it's here, okay? So this is P3, here is P4, okay? So at this point, okay, at this point, what is your loss? Your loss is AFC, okay? Your loss is AFC. It means that your total loss is TFC, okay? Per unit loss is AFC, the total loss is TFC. So what does that mean? It means you still can cover your variable costs. So whatever ingredients or labor or coffee beans that you put into, you can get it back, but not the rent, okay, not the machine, okay, the cost of the machine. So here is what we call shutdown point, okay, here is we call shutdown point. What does that mean? That means if your price is even lower than the AVC, what happened? You better shut down. And which company have shut down? Crown, okay? In Taiwan, Kaohsiung, we call it Jinguang, right? Where is Crown now? It's over, right? Game over. Because the competition is too much for this company to bail. Because everyone joined the coffee market. Okay, after Starbucks, you also have Seattle, right? Seattle, and you have you know, 7-Eleven, McDonald's, 85 degrees C. What happened to 85 degrees C now? It's not as popular as before, right? But there's a new one. Can anyone tell me the new one? 卢佑祥. There's a, go ahead. There's a new one, a new coffee shop, very popular. You can see almost each city block. Yes, exactly, Louisa, right? Okay. So you have so many competition, right? And of course, I mean, so many competitors. And of course, what you're gonna see, the price keep going down. And Louisa, I think, is listed in the stock market, right? Sounds like that. So this is a story telling you, in a competitive market, people are free to join in, right? So after Starbucks, you have 85 degrees C, and then you have 7-Eleven, McDonald's, and I think there's another one called Luna, but it's not as big, okay? And in this process, some people join in, right? And some people dropping out, right? Because, you know, they cannot suffer the loss. And so they drop out of the market. And so I believe at this point probably like an equilibrium, okay, perhaps. And so the market in the long run, where it's going to end? It's going to end here, okay? Why? Because if there is a loss, people are going to get out of the market. And if there's a profit, people are going to join in, okay? So this diagram shows you a little bit, you know, the situation of the perfect competition market and also the adjustment there. And so here will be very important for the exam. MC and AVC intersect at the minimum of AVC, and this is the shutdown point. So the short run, okay, the short run supply curve is the point of MC intersects AVC and the section of MC curve, okay? So the short run supply curve for a competitive market is the MC section above the intersection of MC and AVC, so that's the minimum of AVC. And at this point, okay, the loss will be equal to total fixed cost. So it's the same thing as you do or not do, okay? If you do or you don't, that is the same. But of course, in the long run, okay, in the long run, no one would like to have loss. If you have loss, you better drop out of the market. And so in the long run, the supply curve is the MC section from the bottom of average total cost curve. And of course, in the long run, there's no fixed cost, so we simply call AC, okay? Here we will simply call AC because in the long run, there's no variable, all costs are variable, no fixed cost. Okay, questions? Take a break.